Okay, basically, what I'm going to do today is more or less an introduction to Bob Tompkins Studio. This is a studio where I do my own painting and where I also teach. Um, this room right here, and I'm going to show it to you a little bit later on in more detail, but it's where I do my painting, and I'm going to show you some stuff in here that I've done and that I'm doing. And we're going to talk a little bit about the building, the physical facility that we have here. It's 4,608 square feet. And I basically have this room here, which is the room where I do my painting. And sometimes I demo in here. For instance, if my students would say, "How do you paint glass?" Well, we'll come in here and we set up some glass, and I would paint it and show them how I do it, and hopefully they'll learn something. Or one time he said, "How do you show distance in a painting?" And so I came in here and did an hour demo on how to show distance, and turned out to be a pretty good demo. Basically, I teach 2 days a week, Monday and Tuesday, morning and night, and each class is 2.5 hours long, and that's 4 lessons is a session, and they pay $90 for those 4 lessons. Basically, everybody has 5 feet of table. They have their own light source, and we're studio painters. We're not plein air painters. I don't like to sweat. I'll get cold. So we set up a still life, and we have one direction. The light's coming in one direction, and everybody has their own easel. They have to buy their supplies, which is paint and brushes, and we use Gam Sol as a solvent. It's pretty safe. They come 1 day a week. However, I have this is a great facility, and I have this set up to where I have codes on the door, and they can come in anytime that they want to and paint. They only get instructions on Mondays or Tuesdays. They're their regular days. However, I do walk around sometimes when they're here, the other 5 days of the week, and I will give them some pointers and what have you. But we got it pretty good here. I set up some still lifes, and I have lots of different jars, olive jars, and different other objects that they can use to put in their paintings to compose some stuff that are that they're going to paint. For instance, like some olive jars and maybe some lemons or grapes, or I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of different ways that you can put together stuff to make a good composition. But I always emphasize to whatever size that you are going to paint on your canvas, you need to utilize it all. Fill it up, compose it. Composition is so important. So the 3 things that I teach is lights and darks, brights and dulls, and texture. That's value, that's intensity or temperature of a color, and then texture. Texture is just as important, if not more so, to create that feeling of air and space and going back into the distance. When you get the objects, those 3 things, light, dark, bright, dull, and texture of those 3 objects in relationship to the negative area, what I call the negative area, which is the area that's around those objects, when you get those in the proper relationship, then you created this feeling of air and space and going back into the distance. And it's when you have that texture, that impasto that built up in the light side and the transparency of the dark side, then you created, in fact the old masters call this trompe-l'oeil, and I guess I'm saying that right, but it means fool the eye, and it makes those objects look like it has weight and volume, and just like you can pick it up. So now I will show you what I'm painting right now. This is the painting that I'm doing, and if you will notice how in the copper how thin this is, the transparency. I don't know if you can see it or not. The lighting is not real good this morning because we got 5 inches of rain last night. But then the light side of this copper pot is thick and impasto, and the dark side is thin and transparent, and the same thing with all that. Well, then you have, these are persimmons, and when you have the background, which is dark, which is thin, then you have this. All three of these things are different from light, dark, bright, dull. Texture is all different from, and in the proper relationship to the area that's around it, so that you created this feeling of air. You created an illusion that, number one, that you can pick these objects up, but also that you go back into the distance. And this is my setup. This is my setup that I have right here. And you can tell that this is what I painted, okay? Red pears, persimmons, and copper pot. Okay, and then I'll show you a little bit of my studio here. As we go around here, this is my little desk, my little workstation over here. My desk that is very cluttered, but I know where everything is. And that's the door that goes into the big room, which is my night classes. And then this is some of my paintings that are not in galleries. I'm in Paula's gallery, Paula Jackson Street Gallery. And I also lease a wall at Fondren Interiors Market. And this is some paintings that I have that are just hanging on the wall. Just some place to store it, basically. This is some of my olive jars that I've collected over the years. A bunch of them. I put these in some of my paintings. This is a painting that I've just finished. One of my paintings that. This is another painting. Once again, I apologize for the lighting. Bad day. And this is a snow scene that I painted. It was in Iowa. I took a picture. photograph. And this is a painting that I did of where I was turkey hunting one day. So anyway, that's basically all I need to say today, and I just hope you enjoy the program that Cindy and Ella Jane's got planned for y'all. If you have any questions, you want to come see me, come have a drink, a cup of coffee or a Diet Coke or something, love to have you. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.